Mic test, mic test. Okay, voice is not coming. Okay, temporarily I'm using the webcam sound. So it's not that clear. There's some issue with the main mic. Let me check. Mic test, mic test. Okay, never mind. I'll just use the webcam camera today. So please increase your volume. So I'm not sure why the main microphone is not working. So yeah, I'm good. Hey, thank you for the confirmation, you guys. Hey, hi there, Fabio. Hi there, Sumit. And Sumit, I think I saw you earlier on just now, just a bit ago, just a while ago. Okay, let me just head back. All right, okay, welcome to another IC Markets webinar. So today will be about the trade management, part 3 of 4 on idea invalidation. Okay, before I begin, I got to read the disclaimer. So any information contained in this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. So the contents of this webinar and any accompanying material are not intended to be a solicitation of funds or a recommendation to trade a financial product. Hey, good morning, Simon. Yes, I'm good. I'm actually very, very happy. So let me read this disclaimer that I can explain why I'm happy. So any opinion shared by guests and speaker of the webinar does not necessarily reflect the opinions or view of IC Markets. Okay, so why am I happy? Okay, introducing myself, my name is Chen Yongjing, and I am the trade analyst for Everest Fortune Group. So we are an award-winning research firm. So we actually got the Technical Analyst Award for the best FX and equity research for 2019. 2020 and 2021. So right now we actually have a very special collaboration with IC Markets where we are bringing you guys the good stuff. Hey, nice to see you, Jack. Nice to see you. Okay, just to show you guys. So I actually had a, let me check. Let me show you guys I was very happy because just before I started this webinar, I actually just took profit on USD CAD. The moment I took profit, let me just open another layout. So looking at USD CAD, this is why I'm very, very happy. So let me show it. Where is it? Okay, USD CAD. So I was actually in a buy earlier on USD CAD. So just now, you see 15 minutes ago, I actually had a buy entry on the 1 minute chart. This was my take profit. This was my take profit buy entry. I know it's not my buy entry, this is my take profit. My bad, trade take profit. Then my buy entry was somewhere around here at 3.4. Buy entry, then my stop loss was slightly below. So I was aiming to have a nice stop loss, likely just below. I know it's not the best. I originally wanted to aim higher, stop loss roughly here. So I was actually trying to aim for the USD to continue stronger. So I was aiming for price to continue higher. But what did I notice? I noticed a relative equal high right there. So a relative equal high actually indicates liquidity. So after my buy entry, I immediately was thinking, wow, price is starting to consolidate. Consolidating, and what happened? Price suddenly shot up. I immediately closed out upon hitting the relative equal high. Just before I began the webinar, I would not want to be managing a trade in the middle of talking to you guys. So I closed it out right here, 8 minutes before the webinar started. Exactly 8 minutes before the webinar started. Okay, let me draw a line. 8 minutes before webinar started, hit my take profit. and then I just took profit 0.1%, 8.5 pips. So let me show you guys my FX book. Okay, let me log in. Let me try to sign in and to show you guys the trade. Let me try. Okay, wait. Okay, I'm not sure why I cannot log in. Let me change the accounts. I want to show you guys my progress. Oh my. Okay, got it. Okay, have you guys used my FX book? So my FX book actually helps me a lot to, you know, analyze my trades, what's going on. So last year, I think I mentioned I actually wanted to try out ICT concepts because last year ICT concepts was very, very popular. I was thinking, was looking at it. So I tried it out on the new account. So you can see my progress. This is a live account, real account. So price actually, so I was actually trading, learning ICT concepts, and it was actually bad at the start. But I realized what happened. It's not because I do not understand ICT concepts, it's because of my psychology. So I fixed it up, fine-tune my entry, fine-tune my strategy for ICT concepts, and so at the end of December, I started to see progress and continued to be into the green, and it's just heading up. Okay, February we are looking at ICT concepts too. Nice. So this is actually my trade history. So I'm actually quite proud to say I haven't lost a trade since the 6th of January last month. So right now everything is in the green. Okay, it hasn't updated the latest trade that I took for today. So yeah, Euro USD yesterday I took a USD JPY buy, Euro USD buy 0.1%, exited the market. So I'm actually a scalper. So this is the accounts that I'm actually trading. So this is for today. NZD USD and the USD CAD trade that I actually took. I'm not sure if it's clear. So yeah, this on an IC markets account. So I'm actually quite happy about that trade entry. So I'm very, very open with my trading. So this entire month, I'm actually up 1.2% so far. It's been a slow month for me, honestly. So a slow month, that's about it. So this, my FX book actually helps me a lot because I start to know how long is the duration of my trades. This is very, very important. So I more or less I know when my trade is not running well. When it's running well, so you see roughly my trades are about 2 minutes, 5 minutes, or even 10 minutes the duration and estimate. So anything more than that, I more or less know that the trade is not going well. Okay, so next, let me take a look. So actually there's the IC Markets YouTube channel. So webinars like this will be uploaded to YouTube. So the previous one, the previous webinar, for those who missed it out, trade management 2 out of 4 partial profit and break even placements. You guys can check it out. Please give this video a thumbs up. So there's only 4 likes. I think they just uploaded it 6 hours ago. Feel free to watch it if you guys haven't. Okay, you're asking Utam, you actually asked how to trade for my FX book. Well, my FX book, you can actually link your live account to this website so that you can analyze your progress, analyze what's going on, how are the trades doing, how well are you trading. Hey, Desiree, I just saw your message. You said thank you. So you keep on inspiring. It's very soon month for you too, and keep up with the lessons. Keep me inspired to keep it going. Hey, no problem, Desiree. So really, I'm just showing you guys this very open already. We already show this is a live one that I'm already trading. So December last year, I wasn't good with the concept. So maybe it wasn't that I did not know, it was just the strategy, had to fine tune it a bit. So around December, I got to give it to Jindal. So Jindal right here. This guy right here, Jindal, I'm sure you guys already know him. Jindal, he actually helped to fine tune the strategy, asked me what's going wrong. So from there, after I had a talk with him, everything was just going up. So I'm actually very happy with the results seen here. So yeah, start with small lots. I'm also managing another account on IC Markets. So let me check. So this another account that I'm doing. So this is my entire month of February. So all my lot size, everything you guys can see, everything is all uncensored. If you zoom into the camera, you guys can see it. Uncensored lot size, uncensored trade for the entire month. So yeah, will not be hiding anything. All right, let's move on. Can you share on my FX book, please? Maybe you shared earlier, but you just joined. So this is the website. You can use this website to track your trading progress. So without further ado, let us begin. So today, a few talk. Okay, I'm not sure why the placement is wrong. So anatomy of a trade, take profit, stop loss, placement recap, partial profit, placement recap, invalidation concepts, and idea invalidation in practice. A few topics to cover today. So anatomy of a trade. So we are more or less likely to be going through a very quick recap. So anatomy of a trade, what is it? So we have the, let me pull things out. We have the entry. So I'm sure everyone already know what is the entry. I feel like I'm repeating myself from last week, but it's okay. Some people actually missed out, so I do not mind repeating myself. So we also have the stop loss, take profit. So next we also have the break even, partial profit, trailing stop, and idea invalidation, which we will be going through and focusing on today. So while I'm talking, you guys maybe want to share your trading strategy. So maybe I can use some of your examples for idea invalidation, which I'll be talking about. Send your trading strategy in. If you can, also feel free to send in a screenshot of your charts. So entry, everybody knows that entry. Entry is buy or sell. Stop loss. It's very important to put a stop loss when you are trading. If you do not put a stop loss, you do not know when to close your trade, and you would not want to close out your trade, although it's in a very massive loss. Take profit target. You always must have a take profit target. Why? Some people will say, oh, I do not want to set a take profit target because I want to see how high price can possibly hit to. Well, with a take profit target, it can prevent you from being greedy. So you definitely know when price hits that specific price level, you will close out your trade, leave the market. So maybe a take profit target can be your, maybe how much you want to make for the day. You hit that amount, leave the market. So I know someone who first started trading. His target was $20 per day. Very reasonable, $20 per day. I think he was using maybe a $10,000 account. So up 0.2%, he closed out his trade and he just ended the day already. $20 only. So $20, why? I asked him, why did you aim for $20 at the very start of your trading journey as your take profit target? He said, $20 is able to cover my bus fare. So he actually took bus cover my bus fare, cover my lunch, and cover my dinner for the day. So he started very, very small with a small target only. $20 profit a day, cover his day-to-day expenses. He's more or less happy. So right now he's already a very, very good trader, trading very well on a huge account. Break even. Why must we set break even? So setting break even, let's say your trade, you are in a buy. Price goes up, taps into your buy entry, continues moving up. So at a point in time, for me personally, maybe up 10 pips. So maybe if price has already moved up 10 pips, I would have already set my stop loss to slightly above the buy entry, so that in case price goes back down, I will not lose out to commission, and price will not hit my initial stop loss that was below. So setting stop loss slightly above your buy entry is equals to break even. So I like to set 1 to 2 pips above my buy entry. Okay, next, partial profit. Why is partial profit very, very important? Okay, Samit said awesome, nice. So why is partial profit, this part, very important? Well, let me show an example. Okay, maybe I draw it out first, then you guys can understand. So let me open another, okay, over here. Let's say price is moving in a very, very nice manner. You took a buy, trying to aim for take profit somewhere up above. Let's say there was some kind of take profit area. So we have previously some kind of area you wanted to take profit at some kind of overlap. Okay, this is not that great. Okay, moving it there. You want to take profit in some kind of overlap resistance level, because you have some kind of 1, 2 over there overlap resistance. So let's say you took a buy entry. Hypothetically, you took a buy entry right there. Buy entry in place, took a buy, your stop loss below. So your buy entry hit around here, let's say hypothetically. Stop loss below. So price continues moving up, nearly hitting your take profit target. But what happens next? Price actually cleared out this previous intermediate high right there. So intermediate high got cleared out, and then price all of a sudden it decides to head down. You are thinking, wow, it must have already, price will likely go up, but you already set break even. But at these points, price all of a sudden goes down and strikes your stop loss. So what went wrong? So normally when I see an intermediate high, I would like to set that as my partial profit. Take partial. So take partials here. So I usually for me personally, I like to close 80% of my entry right there. Close out a bit, intermediate high, just in case. So at these points, after taking partial, I would like to push my stop loss to be slightly above my buy entry. So just in case price actually hit my initial stop loss, I'll put initial stop loss. I will not be stopped out, psychology would not be affected, so stop loss set higher than buy entry. So it's known as a break even. So this area I'll put it to orange, this line orange, cause already broke even. Okay, I'll screenshot this down and send it to chat. So this just in case price reverses back down. So Any questions so far regarding partial profits for those who did not join last week? Any questions regarding why I got to take partials? You can have take partial 1, take partial 2, take partial 3. Okay, any questions? How to set break even? Everything clear? Is everything clear with this diagram that I've drawn? All right, all clear, submit. Thank you. So Simon says all's good. Okay, next. Let me show you a live example of a trade that did not work out well with partials. So an example right here. So let's say I was aiming for price to head up towards maybe this nice little overlap resistance area here, more or less overlap resistance. We are thinking price can potentially tap into that area. So I'll write it out. This is my take profit target. Trade take profit. Why? Because it was a overlap resistance. So let's say I already entered a trade just now. Enter a trade, let's say just now, like the same entry that I took, stop loss below. Wanted to aim for that high there. So we have a 1.58 risk to reward. So same thing, I'll draw it out. My buy entry, trade entry buy, stop loss below. And I'm just I apologize for the word that I used. So I want to use what I want price to head towards that area. I want price to head up towards that area all the way up. But what happened next? If I did not manage my trade, price would have reversed back down and already hit my stop loss. So what can I do in this situation? As I mentioned just now, there was a previous high, relative equal high. I could set that as my first take profit target, my first partial. So take profit, partial, take profit. So we can take this as clear out 80%. 80%. Close out 80%, leave the runners to run. The moment you take partial, what can you do? So I'll put it again, initial, stop loss, and then I push my stop loss up to be slightly above my entry. Stop loss set higher for break even. So if I did not do that, price would have already hit my stop loss, would have lost the trade, would not even have made any money. So this is a live example of why you should take partials. Let me copy link to a chart image. I'll send it to the chat. Okay, Desiree actually asked a question. So when my B is taken, how often have you re-entered again? Most of the time, I do not enter the trade again. Most of the time, I would say 95% of the time, I would not enter the trade again. The same currency pair would not enter again, unless price causes a very, let's say it broke even. Let's say in a situation really broke even, hit my break even, did not make any money, did not even take partials. Let's say I did not take partials, break even. But if price bounce off very, very strongly, like break up higher again, I would enter on that retracement. But most of the time it doesn't happen. Most of the time it doesn't happen, it would not. So I think I re-entered maybe once in the past 3 months or so. Okay, next. Moving on. Okay, let me screenshot. Did I? Okay, I screenshot already. When you say taking partial, does it mean closing the trade early? Well, I do not mean by closing the trade early. So let's say you have one lot buy. Okay, maybe I should pull it down. One lot buy. I bought one lot there. So when I say take partial, close 80%, I close 0.8 lots. I close 0.8 lots once price hit my partial area and leave the remaining 0.2 lots to run. So if price actually hit my break even, 0.2 lots hit BE. It's a bit too big. 0.2 lots hit break even. Close 0.8 lots, 1 lot buy entry. So this is an example. So I copy link to a chart image again. I'll send it to chat. So this is for you, Utam. So if you do not understand again, please let me know. Okay, clear. No problem. No problem at all. Let us continue to the slides. So trailing stop, how does it work? You can actually set your trailing stop in MetaTrader 4, but I personally do not use it at all because it's a stop loss that forever continues moving up. So as your trade moves higher and higher, your stop loss will be moving higher and higher also, but it will not go lower. So if price goes back down, it would have hit break even. I wouldn't say break even, you would have closed out your trade, you would have made profit in this area. So maybe it would be your profit. Hey, good day to you, Jamilu. So let me show an example of a trailing stop loss. Okay, maybe I should just show you guys the MT4 trailing stop. You guys can check it out. Okay, how to set trailing stop? I'll send it to you in chat. So please follow it. Can try it out. So 15 points. What do I mean by 15 points? This is a bit confusing for most people. So 15 points actually means the stop loss will forever be 1.5 pip above your below the current price. So if you want 10 pips, the stop loss to be 10 pips below the current price, you should put 100 points. 1 pip is equals to 10 points. So feel free to check that out. All right, next. Let me move on. Idea invalidation. This is extremely important. If you do not have idea invalidation in your strategy, most of the time you would have let your trade hit stop loss. So some of you guys, okay, all of you guys, feel free to send in your trading strategy. Send it to the chat. If you are using RSI, if you are using MACD, feel free to let me know. Send it into the questions. Just use that as a chat box. Okay, let me pull out, show you an example of idea invalidation for me personally. Okay, let's see an idea that would have been invalidated. Okay, maybe I show a graphical example first. So for me, I'm using smart money concepts. I'm actually, or ICT concepts, I'm actually following the market structure. So I'm looking for highs and lows, you know, higher high. So I will just draw it down, draw it for you guys. So this is a higher high formed. Okay, so maybe I draw it this way. Higher high formed because price actually kind of broke structure. So I'll put a BOS, break of structure. Make it very neat because I like things to be neat, especially if I'm doing diagrams. Higher high formed, then what is this? It's a higher low that formed. This is my personal trading strategy, just showing you guys a quick one. Higher low form, then I'll put higher high. And this is higher low, HL. What happened next? Let's say I was in a buy. I was in a buy entry. Let me get the copying out buy entry. So let's say I bought entry, stop loss below, trying to aim for some kind of take profit target that was right up there. Trying to aim for something right up there. But what happened next? Price actually broke structure once more. Break of structure. So this was a higher high. Let me send this back. Send backward. Okay, maybe I put it aside first. Higher high. What happened? A lower high was formed after the structure was broken. So this was a lower low formed. Lower low formed and a lower high was formed. So at this specific time, I already know with a lower low formed, a lower high formed with a break of structure. That's what I mean by break of structure. It's my idea invalidation. Okay, Mark heading. I just saw that you sent in your strategy. Okay, feel free to send in your chart with the way you would enter a trade, so I can take a look at it. So this would have been my idea invalidation, because a lower low was formed. By then I would have already set my trade to break even. I can either close out my trade. So let's say I was in a buy somewhere there. Hypothetical situation, took a buy, take profit, stop loss was below. In such a scenario with a idea invalidation forming, I would have already either close out my trade right there, or wait for the retracements, take the retracement back up, close out my trade, or I leave it to run. You can either leave it to run, your break even set slightly above, just in case price hits down to your stop loss targets. So stop loss set for break even. This is how I would have managed my trade personally for idea invalidation. Okay, this is your initial stop loss before break even. Okay, I'll screenshot this down and send it to the chats. Okay, copy link to the chart image, send it to you guys. So feel free to save this image out. This is an example of how I would see idea invalidation. Okay, Mark actually was using strategy, the SAR 50, 200 EMA and MACD confirmation in line with the SAR. Feel free to send in your chart, so maybe we can share it with everyone. So I do not know exactly what the settings were used. So Desiree, she said that you are trying out a simpler 3 EMA method on M15 H1 coupled with Fibo and trends. So just trying it out, cause it means that you can find a lot more pairs daily. But risk to reward is important to manage, cause 1 to 1. Okay, 1 to 1 or 1 to 2 can happen 90% of the time. So it's very hard to go for 1 to 2 as your stop loss. 1 to 2 as your stop loss is very tight. So that usually TPs within 1 to 2 hours. So you are on the M15 time frame. So Desiree, I would like to ask you, how do you know that your idea is invalidated? How do you know that your trade is not going the way that you want it to be? So you must have a strategy also. So idea invalidation is also a strategy, it's part of your strategy. Managing your trade is also a strategy. So I'll layer it out as maybe I layer it out as something like this can be your 1. Layer 1, you have your main strategy. Next, you have your idea invalidation. It has to happen. Idea invalidation to, what does it do? Manage your trade, make a decision to close outs, or set break even. So this has to come together in one piece. Okay. So Mark, you said you are unable to send screenshots. Well, if you are on your computer, but I know most of you guys, a lot of you guys are actually watching from your phone. So if you're on your computer, there's actually a screenshot button on the top right hand corner of Trading View. So you can click on that camera button, take a snapshot, copy link to the chart image, and you can actually send it to the chat. Okay, Mark, you're saying that you look at a 4-hour chart and you look at a daily for trend and reference. So more, you are a swing trader. You're doing swing trading, and how would you know that your trading strategy is not going right? You got to know when to invalidate your idea. I know it's very, very common. It's very, very normal for humans to not want to be wrong. Most of us want to be right. It's very, very difficult to admit a mistake. But once we are able to sit down and tell ourselves that we are wrong, admit and tell ourselves we are wrong, you are able to correctly or better manage your trade that was wrong. Idea invalidation is for both after the entry and before the entry. Well, this one is for after the entry. There's also an idea invalidation before the entry. Let me show you. So yeah, thank you for that reminder, Utam. So this is idea invalidation after entry example. So let me screenshot everything down again. Idea invalidation entry example after entry. Okay, I'll screenshot this down once more and send it to the chat. So I'll show you guys. Okay, is that the latest one? Wait, let me check. Okay, that's the latest one. All right. So I'll show you guys another example. Another example, maybe a live example of a trade that did not go right. So this is the same, it looks the same. So maybe I had a take profit target somewhere up there, I would say. Hypothetically, take profit target somewhere up there. I have an entry because you look higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low. Price to continue moving bullish. So let's say I took a buy entry. Maybe took upon the retracement just to be realistic, some kind of buy entry upon the retracement, buy entry. Stop loss want to be safe, just below. Trying to wait for price to continue bullish. What happens next? You notice that price, let me draw it out, actually went up and it actually went lower. So at this point you are watching, but price decides to form a lower high and a lower low. So this is how it actually looks like. So same thing, a lower low was formed. Okay, maybe I put it to 10. Okay, a bit too small. Lower low formed and a lower high was actually formed. So same thing, I'll just mark it out again. This is a lower low and a higher high. So right there, that would have been my idea invalidation, a break of structure. So at this point in time, so let me draw the same thing out. So you can look at it side by side, it looks the same. So at this point in time, what can you do? What can you do? You can either, wait, let me write it out. It's a live example. Okay. You can either set your stop loss to be slightly above. So same thing, stop loss slightly above, set for break even, just in case price wants to go lower. Or you can choose to close out your trade right there. Take profit, this area of profit, just in case price goes down towards your buy entry, hit your break even, and potentially it actually eventually would have, didn't even hit the final take profit target and would have hit your stop loss. So this is very, very important. So you can, let me write it down. You can, upon ideal validation, you can close out your trade. So this is just an example. Trade taking current profit. All right, let me push all of this up. Okay, I'll screenshot it down. I'll send it to the chat. Copy link to the chart image. I'll send it to you guys. So this is a live example. Okay, Jen Barnes asks, how do I confirm the BOS 1 minute or 5 minute confirmation? I'm always looking for, even 5 minutes also can. But for me, I like to look for the significant swings. That's my confirmation. That will be the lower high, lower low. Significant swing is swung up, broke. Okay, Mark, you actually shared the screenshot. Let me just copy it down. Okay, let me open this up. Okay, Mark actually sent in his screenshots. Okay, so you actually have an indicator that actually tells, does it tell you to buy and sell at the same time? Buy and sell. Okay, that's nice, nice. That's a nice screenshot. How would you see, how would you know that if your trade is not going in the right way? So I actually have not used this indicator before. So TradingView, there's a lot and a lot of custom indicator. Oh, it's sort of. Right, so buy, so is there some kind of, let's say you are in a buy, price decides to cross back down. We try to zoom in. So let's say you are in a buy, let's say price crosses back down and the indicator starts to say a sell. Would you think that it's an ideal invalidation? That could be your ideal invalidation. Hey, that's very good. Everybody has their own trading strategy that works well for them. Okay, next, let's move on. I'll show you guys an ideal invalidation before a trade happens. Okay, let me clear everything out. Okay, let's say, let me find an example. Okay, before it happens, let me find one that will cause me not to enter a trade. Okay, this might be a bit confusing. So let's say I'm looking to sell. So notice a lower high, lower low, lower high, and lower low form. So at this point, likely you want to look for price to continue going bearish. maybe you say you want to take a sell, but what happens next? Price actually, all of a sudden, when you are watching the momentum, you do not use some kind of buy sell limit, price actually actually broke the previous high, forming a higher high right there. Higher high formed. So in such a scenario, you do not want to be looking for a sell anymore, because a higher high was formed. If you actually took a sell, try to sell, still want to enter a sell, stop loss above in that situation would have hit your stop loss. So you're looking for a sell, but higher high formed, that would be your ideal invalidation. Ideal invalidation. Why was it an ideal invalidation? Because you're looking to sell, higher high formed, you cannot sell anymore. Price would likely to continue heading up. Okay, next, let's take a look. Okay, TPSL placement recap. So there's a major resistance area, 1 tap, 2 taps, 3 taps. So what you can do is you can set your stop loss slightly above the resistance area, just in case price taps very nicely into your resistance and reverses off that area. Same thing, a major support area. Set your take profit just before. If you're taking profit, take profit just before the resistance, just in case price does not break the resistance and continues and reflects back off, moving bullish. Next, a break. Okay, this one I think I already told you guys. Okay, let me check it out. You have a buy entry, stop loss, take profit in place. So you have a partial profit target set right there due to the overlap resistance area. So an overlap resistance area there, partial profit. What happens next? Price taps into your partial profit area. Take partial before reversing back down. So before I continue, at this point in time, once you have taken partial, your stop loss set to be slightly above your entry target, just in case price reverses back down, hitting your original stop loss right there. So price actually went back down, hitting your break even, and it would have actually hit your original stop loss if you did not set it. Okay, next. Okay, ideal invalidation showed you guys already. So ideal invalidation, just a quick summary through this entire slide. So in trading, the idea of invalidation refers to the process of evaluating a potential trade idea and determining if it should be disregarded or acted upon. So essentially, it's a way of determining if a trade idea still holds up in the light of new information or market conditions. So here's how the process of idea invalidation typically works in trading. So we have an initial trade idea. So we have an initial trade idea for potential trade based on our analysis of the market, using some kind of technical indicators with other factors. Next, we actually evaluate our idea. So we evaluate the idea by looking at the current market conditions. Same thing, using relevant information, technical indicators, economic data to determine if the initial trade idea still holds up. So an invalidation criteria. So you want to establish the criteria for invalidating the trade idea, such as specific price levels or market conditions that will cause you to reconsider the trade. So the moment you start to have doubts, that is when you need to reconsider. That might be your idea invalidation. Then you need to start monitor the market. Very, very important. Although you enter a trade, Monitor it, check if your trade still holds up, there's no idea invalidation in place. So finally, invalidation. If the invalidation criteria is met, the trader may choose to exit the trade or adjust your position. This is what I always mention. Choose to exit the trade, adjust to break even. BE. So on the other hand, so let's say if there's no idea invalidation, you may continue to hold a position or even stack onto your idea. So overall, it's just very, very important to use idea invalidation. Helps you to avoid potential losses, avoid hitting your entire stop loss. That's why it's very, very important. Okay, next. To show you guys, okay, maybe, okay, this one would not be important. So yeah, any questions so far before I end this webinar? Any more questions regarding idea invalidation? Feel free to let me know. Okay, so let me check this out. Oh, price is just, wow, headed down very, very far apart. Okay, feel free to use the MyFX book website. It actually helps you to analyze your accounts more in depth. It knows, so you can actually know when you actually, how long is your duration of your trades. You can analyze it in depth. Best winning trades, your winning, your profit factor, standard deviation, and everything else. So Sumit, you said all is awesome. So Mark said, thank you so much. We'll be back in future webinars. Hey, thank you for that. Definitely hope to see you soon again. So yeah, if there are no further questions, I'd like to thank you guys for joining me today on this IC Markets exclusive webinar. So yeah, thank you AJ, thank you Aaron, thank you Desiree, thank you Dang Pam, thank you Erilina, thank you Fabio, thank you Henny, thank you Ibrahim, thank you Jack Zola, thank you Jamilu, thank you Uwa, thank you Jody, thank you Lulu, thank you Mark, thank you Robin, thank you Rojin, thank you Simon, thank you Sumit, thank you Ted Choi, thank you Utam Das for joining. Okay, Desiree said she missed the point about trade invalidation, which you had dismissed for some time. Well, it's very, very important. It helps you to avoid potential losses. Yes, every strategy must have one, should have one. Every strategy must have an idea invalidation. So yeah, guys, stay safe trading. Goodbye and take care. See you guys again soon. I'll be ending this webinar now already. Goodbye. Take care.